before we start with today's panel and all the beautiful ladies which we have here, I would quickly want to wish them and everyone in the audience a very happy Women's Day. And this time, Women's Day theme was around embrace equity. So I'll quickly just give an overview about what exactly equity is, because equality, we keep on talking about equality a lot. And right now, we are in such a condition and a phase wherein equality no longer stands true, and equity is something which we have to look going forward. So equality means when an individual or a group of people is given the same resource or opportunities, while equity is that it recognizes each person in terms of different circumstances, or it allocates exact resources and opportunities which it needs, so that it can reach an equal outcome and not an equality. So that was a theme for this Women's Day. And with this, I would like to start with Madhuri. So, Madhuri, if you can just quickly introduce yourself and talk about your role and work background at Rapid Circle.
Sure, Shrishti, thank you. As you might already be aware, my name is Madhuri Kudekar, and maybe I'll start a bit with the background in terms of how I joined Rapid Circle. So it was around 7.5 years ago or so. I was fresh out of my MBA, already holding offer to join a well-reputed MNC, you might say. When a very dear friend of mine, Aditi, who is also a fellow at Rapid Circle, insisted that I talk to Suyog and meet him before going out of Pune for my job. And it so happened that we did meet. And I also met a couple of people at office, even if it was a Saturday. And after talking, we sort of just knew that Rapid Circle would be right for me. And why I chose to join Rapid Circle back then was because it looked like a challenge. It was something that I didn't know what I'm entering into. And we didn't have a very well-defined role as such, but then that also gave me an opportunity to work on anything that came along my way, and that's how my role grew. And I had the opportunity to work on every aspect of operations, you might say, in Rapid Circle, whether it was pre-sales, negotiations, estimations, working with product teams, understanding Scrum, ended up getting myself certified as a Scrum Master, handled multiple accounts at Rapid Circle. Then also worked as a Scrum Master for one of our clients for more than 4 years, actually, then came back to Rapid Circle. So my role evolved with whatever I worked on. Right. So the job description was never constant, and neither is as on today. So as of today, I am working with the PMO team. I help any team where there might be need, whether it's recruitment team, HR, or any other aspects where there is a need for something to be done, making sure EOS is being implemented at Rapid Circle, in getting involved in any new uh, thing that we are implementing, whether it's the Wayfinder program or coming up with new strategies for Rapid Circle. So yes, so that's my role, and it's evolving on a daily basis, I might say.
Yes, I could personally say that I have seen Madhuri playing a lot of roles. I would say you are not a person with only a static designation. You are playing role which market, as in when market evolves, your role category also keeps on evolving, and we are so glad to see that. Handing, I mean, I would just like to continue this with Pooja. So if you can also sum up your role journey at Rapid Circle.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Srishti. So even I can tell you a fun story about how I joined Rapid Circle. So Madhuri and I, we both are very good friends, and we were in Goa, and it was just a casual trip. And I was complaining Madhuri about my test leave. I think it was something around my leaves or something like that. I don't remember the exact thing, but yeah, I was just casually discussing it with her, and then Madhuri asked me that that what is your exact role? So I told her that I am a test consultant, and she was like, oh, we have a vacancy in a Rapid Circle right now. And then I asked her that, but do I have a test lead, or will there be a test manager, something like that? And then she told me that Rapid Circle has a flat system. There is no hierarchy, and I think that was the best, part for me, and that was one of the most important reasons why I joined a Rapid Circle. And talking about my role here, I am basically working as a test consultant, and it has almost been around 5 years now. Um, so being a test consultant, I think there is more than just being a tester, right? So when I initially started my journey with Rapid Circle, I was I was working in a couple of projects, and then I got to know that it is not just about testing. So let me give you an example. We were working on a Power App, and it was just a basic Power App wherein I had to test the features on that application. But then later on, I realized, how can I put more on the table? So then I decided to document the user guide and also demo that Power App to the end users. So I think just than testing, there is a lot more going behind testing. Even when I prepare test plans today, so it is not just about preparing a test plan and getting the sign off, but it is about understanding what all test cases will go in that test plan. I need to analyze the various situations. I need to also talk with the client, discuss with the team, and come up with a full-fledged test plan, not just writing 10 test cases and done. So I am working as a test consultant, but more things go behind just being a tester. Yeah, so that's it about me. Thank you, Srishti.
Yeah, I totally agree that many people have this kind of a notion that testing kind of is easy and then development. But you are the true example of breaking that barrier, because test cases is not just writing test cases, it involves lot of thought process and proactiveness as well, just like you mentioned. So good to know. And that story was really funny. And we got to know that you and Madhuri were great friends back then. So coming to Shweta, I think Forum might already know Shweta is already a Azure architect and she is doing a lot of good stuff with Azure. So we would like to know more about Shweta's role at Rapid Circle and what all role she is playing.
Yeah, hi Sushti. Hello everyone. My name is Shweta and I've been with Rapid Circle for 8.5 years now. And I think it's the same story with all of us that when we joined, even the company was young and we were young and we got to do a lot of things because for many people in tech, it's when you're working in a very big organization, not that it's a bad thing to work in a big organization, but for us, this worked out well because it is what we wanted to do. So we got to work on different things as well. Like from the tech side also, it was never like, okay, you're only doing development or sitting at your desk and coding and that's all. But we got to exchange a lot of knowledge with peers. We got to talk to clients. It was never like, okay, you're a junior person and you cannot talk to clients, but we got to talk to clients since the beginning. So it helped us in a lot of ways to grow. So we never restricted our even the knowledge boundaries of in technical, like only DevOps or only coding or only development or only testing. So all of us have done a lot of things going throughout these years, and that's what happened to me as well. I joined in as a web developer, and people here, Sarang mostly introduced me to Azure, and I started learning and just never looked back, just because it was so good to learn every day. That's what I've told everybody who was I have interviewed or who have talked to about Rapid Circle, that there has not been a single day that passed and I didn't learn anything from my peers. So it's that's what my journey was here, and just everything that I've learned is mostly from here. So yeah, just happy to be here.
Awesome, great. I do hear some great conversations brewing only at the start. So I think let's just give some more interesting content to the audience, because I
Yeah.
think we have Madhuri, and she has evolved herself as a leader in this organization. So I would quickly want to know that when you begin your career many years ago at Rapid Circle, or even at your professional career, did you imagine that you would have a leadership role? You would play that role in any organization in so much less time span?
Um, Actually, no, because like Shweta just said, when we all started, we were very young, and also the organization Rapid Circle was very young when I started with Rapid Circle. But what I always knew was I like challenges, and I saw every challenge as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to overcome it, and then just do a bit more than what it is. So this role, you might say, was not something that came with a title or was entrusted upon me. But as you mentioned rightly, Srushti, it is something that I evolved into,
Yes.
right? With the work I did, with the people I was able to help. And I think I have always had this approach where I want to help people, right? And serve them. So servant leadership is something that I believe in, and I think I have some very good mentors and best examples in within Rapid Circle for this, and those are the footsteps I always followed. And then this role just evolved, and I grew with it, and I'm constantly learning as I go, and my motivation still remains to keep helping people in whatever way I can, and irrespective of the role I play.
Sure. So my follow-up question was exactly on the similar lines, but it looks like you already answered that. What motivated you to step up and become a leader, so that you can train, or many people, just like how you are doing? Probably many women or many fresh graduates would want to uh, just have step up and become a leader, because right now if you meet anyone, they would just say that yes, I want to become a leader, I want to become a woman leader, but they don't know how exactly they should achieve that. And they just keep on following that whole 9 to 5 life cycle, and then they just end up saying that, oh, I just wanted to be a leader, but I ended up working development or whatever architecture kind of role.
Yes. What I would like to say is, whatever work you are doing, right, do the best you can there and do something more, and try to see what more you can do in everything that you are doing, right? And I think that should be your motivation. Don't wait for a title to be allocated to you to become a leader. Be the leader in whatever you are doing. If you, like Pooja said, if you are doing testing, do the best, write the best test script that you could ever have written, right? Or if you are writing your code, it should be the best that you are doing, and lead by that example. And always focus on your work and what you can do. Growth, success, titles, even money, everything will follow, right? It will come at the right time or when it has to come. But your focus or motivation should be what I can do for the people, for the team, for the project, for my organization, right? And I think sometimes being a leader is also be about being a bit selfless, of looking at a bigger picture, and keeping maybe your individual personal aspirations a bit aside, because those are going to come through. And I think I've never regretted doing that, to be honest, and always looking at the bigger picture.
Sure. I think for the audience, the takeaway from your scenario would be basically they should be proactive, and whatever they are doing, they should do their best irrespective of whatever work they are doing in, and they should not wait for someone to come and recognize them with the designation of a leader. So
Correct.
just summing it up for the whole audience. And I would like to just talk to Pooja, because she also has been evolving to a Scrum role since quite a couple of months. And I would want to know that how did you build that confidence and resiliency over this course of your career?
Yeah, so to be very honest, for me, confidence, it is like an ongoing process, right? So I won't say that I'm 100% confident even today. If let me give you an example, right? So I still remember giving a presentation during my college days, and it was one of my first presentations. So in the last semester, you're asked to present your project, right? And I had to give that presentation in front of the entire batch, and that batch was around, I think, 50 to 60 students. And for me, that was really the very first time that I was going to speak in front of so many people. So at that point of time, right, I was not confident enough to present my project. And today I feel that, yeah, I could have done better. Maybe I could have presented it in a more efficient way than I did in the past. So today, even if you ask me to work on something new, then yeah, of course, I would need some time. I would practice. And for me, it is always self-evaluation, right? I won't say no to a new thing. I'm always open to it. But for me, I would need some self-retrospective as well. That how can I put more efforts into it, or how can I improve it, or how can I do it in a better way. So of course, confidence is for me is always an ongoing process, and I keep practicing it. So be it anything, even be it maybe cooking one of my favorite meals. If so, I would give you an example. I had joined a cheesecake workshop, and the first cheesecake, it was a disaster, right? So to be very honest, I was not able to bake it properly. But now, if you ask me to bake a cheesecake, I will be able to do it, right? So it is all about practice and about self-evaluation. More than practice, I think it is self-evaluation. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I did learn from you today. So today's learning is checked mark in my bucket list. I would say that probably from your thing that consistency is the key, right? Because if you are consistent enough, if you show up every day in whatever you're doing, then confidence automatically will start showing up and building up throughout the journey. Okay. Another question I would like to ask you, because we have the women panel. So how would you encourage the women who probably are on the verge of the career? They are frustrated and they are doing similar activities every day. They are thinking to give up, but they should not. So how would you like to answer this?
Uh, Yeah, so one thing I would like to say over here is that if you think that you are doing the right thing, then just do it, right? So you should not have any reservations in your mind that what is going to happen if I fail in a certain situation, right? The only thing that you can continue doing is putting in your efforts and not giving up, right? So to encourage, I feel that I would like everyone or all the women to come together and basically support each other as well, because I think that is also one important point that you can do. Just support, just share whatever you are thinking, or just let me give you an example. Sometimes you feel that something is happening only with me, or something like that, but maybe you can quickly discuss it with your peer, and you can understand if you can correct that situation, if you can put some more efforts into it, and what else can you do in order to come out of that situation, or maybe come out of your comfort zone, right? So
Yes.
try on something new, take up challenges, because I think in the past couple of months I have in my professional life I have done it, and I am seeing the results, right? So try something new, and I know at the first instance you won't feel that, even I felt that this is not for me maybe, but now I think that why not give it a try, right? So just don't give up just because the society feels that you won't be able to do it, or even in your personal life, right? So there are always few demands coming in from the society, and just don't do because someone else is asking for it. Don't people please. So do whatever fits for you, and just don't give up. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Um, Now, coming to Shweta, as I personally have worked with Shweta and I know that she is a mother as well. So, there are many working women and working mothers, I would say. So, how do you balance your career, personal life, and passions? Definitely. And is there a thing called as balance because you are playing so many different roles and you have to manage people as well as work as well as team? So, how do you do that?
Uh, so is there such a thing as balance? So of course there is. You have to, otherwise you won't be able to lead your life. But what I think, whenever I've, asked this question myself, so since being in Rapid Circle, it has never become overwhelming. The work has never become overwhelming. Overwhelming. Whenever I've stretched myself, it's because I wanted to, or when it's fine or it's something that you want to do and you have the support system and all of that. But again, when we say that work life balance or work and career and children balance or things like that, that makes it separate things. So I think it's all integral part of one's life. And basically, being a mother is a choice. And if you have the choice, it's similar to any other thing in your life. If you want to cook for yourself and not have a maid cook for you, then you carve out that time for in a day to do that. Same thing is about motherhood. I mean, it's not, I'm not saying that it's a
Absolutely. Yeah.
comparable situation, it's a lot more work or something like that, but it's again, it's the point is it's about choice. If you want to do it, you do it. That's it. And then it might get hard sometimes, it might be overwhelming sometimes, but it just you just do it. I think it's, if you just try to think about it as a separate thing, that okay, I'm going to be a mother and I'm going to balance work and motherhood, then it becomes a bigger thing than you're trying to handle. But it's just if you want to be a mother, that is, then it's just your choice and just do it. And you can handle work and being a mother. Sometimes you would feel that okay, you're not giving enough time to work, or sometimes you would feel you're not giving enough time to your child. But then that just internal conflict that it's going to happen. There is no answer to that. You just deal with it. But there is no way that you can say that, okay, this cannot happen. Like same way I said about cooking for yourself. Sometimes you don't get time, even if you wanted to cook that day, but you didn't get time to do so. You didn't get time to bake a cake on the weekend because there was some other work. But that just then you try to do it or make up for it in the next week, on the next weekend, similar. So it's just integral. Being a mother is just integral part of my life, and being a working woman is also the same. So it's, I don't see it separately to just put so much thought into how do I balance. I just do what I want to do at that point of time. That's all I could say. I mean, that's probably oversimplifying it, but that's how I've handled it. Because otherwise, it becomes overwhelming to even think about it that way. And another thing that is important is, I think, for all of us, is having a support system to handle all of that. So from family, and I'm sure that not all women have that support system. Not everybody gets to have a family that can stay with them, or take care of their child when they are away and all of that. So lucky, touch wood, I have that, and many of the women that I meet regularly have that system. But even if that is not there, I think you can work out your system if you want to.
Yes.
There's, I don't want to advise on how to do that, but if you really want to work and do this, then you can definitely work out a way to do that. So it's about prioritizing and just doing it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it is majorly about planning your own schedule because
Correct.
you have multiple roles to play, and because that is also an integral part of your life, right? So
Yeah.
you can't get away from those things. That is also a
Correct.
part of life. And apart from that, I think you correctly mentioned priorities. So prioritizing work with different roles. At times, child can take a priority, or at times, a work can take a priority. So that definitely depends. uh,
Yeah.
Great, I just loved the way you answered it and you simplified it so well that people would now can relate it.
Yeah.
Because I have personally seen so many interviews and so many podcasts about on the similar lines of working women with the balance they achieve, but they always provide a very difficult terminologies to answer. But the best I have heard example is of a cooking today. Great.
So just
And
hope that just take it as an integral part of your life
yes.
and just do it. That's the only thing.
One more follow-up question to the same, probably that you might answer. How can we include women leaders that are actually moms so that they can balance their time well, even while working?
Um, so again, I mean, it's about prioritizing. And on the inclusion part, from the teams, I would expect that they are. So sometimes it happens that when it's a mother, there is a slight difference in the way of behavioral pattern also, because we are inherently different gender. So that's going to happen that when a child is sick, the temperament of mother is going to differ from the temperament of father. That's most of the times that's the case. I'm not saying that's always the case, but that's what I have experienced. So that it will, she might be distracted or things like that, or even for so many other things that it could happen. So that sort of leeway, I'm not saying, but I'm 100% sure that it's not like they are given a discount, but sort of a leeway to adjust their time. It's not about adjusting the amount of work.
Right.
I have personally delivered when I was just I joined right out of maternity. I was working on a product itself, and I could handle it. So it's not about the amount of work, but it is about sometimes managing the time. So sometimes it's like in the peak working hours that women might not be available because she has a smaller child or younger child. But I mean, that sort of support system should be there in the workplace as well. And I have always felt that here at least. And if that sort of support system is not being given to you where you're working, then probably you should think about getting a better workplace environment. So I think that is important. And for others also who are not, who are working with such women who have children, just have to be a little understanding on that front. There is no reason for looking at them as a resource that probably won't deliver much, but give
Exactly.
them the leeway of time. That's what I would
Yeah.
say.
I think organization needs to understand and work in a team
Yeah.
fracturization, because at the end, women's or working women's, they are all equal, right? We are talking about, we are celebrating Women's Day and we are talking about equity and not equality as well, because we are including everyone. So everyone needs a separate amount of time, or they need their own zone to work, whether they definitely they are going to deliver their best, but they might not be able to get back to you on that particular same time, but yeah, they will definitely deliver whenever they have some time or leeway. So
Yeah.
I agree that team needs to understand and have that faith, room of faith they should give to the working woman, so that they can come and give their 100%.
Yes.
There is one question for all of you, because I have heard this myself from many of my friends and women colleagues, and even this has been I could say even on social media you could hear it very often, that there is a term called as pay equality. So I wanted to ask about, like, is the gender inequality, have you faced that in terms of payment, uh, at Rapid Circle or at any different organization? I wanted to just highlight that because our audience is women, so they want to know about gender inequality in terms of payment.
Okay, I think I might be able to pick that up. There are two aspects to this. One is we have to remove that ingrained bias if we might be carrying in terms of that the inequality that is happening is maybe because of gender. right? If you are doing your work, you are giving your 100%, you are delivering what is expected to be done, then look at it that you deserve to be paid fairly and equally for what you are doing, irrespective of what others are getting paid, right? So that is something everyone should carry in their mind. And if you're not getting paid to in terms of what you deserve and what value you are bringing to the organization, then raise that concern. Right. Fortunately for us, and I think I can say that on behalf of all of us at Rapid Circle, we have a very transparent system, right? And we get paid based on what we bring to the table, what we are doing. Our pays are in our hand in terms of our performance. If we are doing good, we are going to get the benefit. And there's that trust we have in our leadership that they are going to do justice to all of us, keeping any bias away, whether it is gender bias, recency bias, or where you belong to, where you come from, how many years of experience you carry. If you are doing the best you can at what you are doing, you will get paid fairly.
Yes, and just to write on to that, like I have worked in Rapid Circle for a long time, so I would speak about this only. And I have never experienced, in terms of pay, at least any sort of inequality. Rather, I would say that we were all I was on a maternity break, and even after that, I was given more encouragement to do more things. And in terms of pay as well, it was not considered as a break that would affect my pay scale. So it's about choosing the right workplace. I think. I don't know if all the organizations have some sort of such sort of discussion with the women employees when they go on maternity breaks or things like that, to how to handle the pay scales and all. But if that's not happening, then it should, because I remember my mentors or my leaders having that conversation with me and telling me that, okay, if this doesn't set you apart, or this doesn't give you a sort of setback in your career. This is just a thing that happened in your life. It's so that's not going to affect your career, and that's how it should be in any workplace. And I hope if that's not happening at other workplaces, people do take those efforts and do that. But yeah, never have I experienced such a sort of inequality, at least at Rapid Circle.
Yeah, I agree to that as well. I have never seen this discrimination, at least in the field of IT.
Yeah.
But I have a friend. She basically, conducts science workshops for kids. But when I was speaking with her the other day, I got to know that there is some discrimination still. Yeah, between men and women working. So let me give you an example. So there was a workshop which was organized in Hingoli, right? So it is one of the remote areas in Marathwada, Vidarbha side. And the organizers, they preferred not having this friend take the workshop just because she is, woman. And the chance was given to a boy or a man who was not actually,
At par.
yeah, at par. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, that's the reality,
Yeah.
right? But then she discussed it with her, leaders, and then one of the leaders, she was a lady, and then she made sure that in every workshop, wherever there is going to be a workshop, if a lady is going to conduct that workshop, then a man can support her. But it should not be the case that a woman should not go to the remote area and conduct that workshop, right? So there is still a discrimination happening, but I have not seen it in my career, or at least in the field of IT. Yeah, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are still who are struggling with these issues.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
important thing is here that she spoke up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
To
Yeah.
speak up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
happens.
Yes. So I think the key point here is if you are facing some kind of bias or discrimination, it is better for oneself. Either it is a woman or a man. Discrimination can happen with anyone,
Yeah.
and with any gender. So it is like you have to just like the science professor did. So you can just come and speak up to and speak to the right person. Don't just speak to the person who might not help you out. So as I've heard, and even from my experience, when the leaders who are setting an example, when they are setting a true example, or when they are following a correct step, that is when the whole organization or the down following hierarchy works in a better way. So just like at Rapid Circle, definitely, even I am part of it for the last 2 years. So inequality or discrimination I haven't observed. And even in the field of IT, there are few companies who might uh, they might be at a mid scale or a lower scale in kind of their startup phase, but still everyone has an equal opportunity, equal they have this opportunity to stand equal in equal ways. So I would agree with Shweta that once if you talk to a leader, or just like how she mentioned that while going on maternity, no organization talks or no leaders talk to their fellows or employee or peers about how they are going to take ahead the whole discussion. So that is what is important. Leadership should follow a good principle so that the whole organization can stay well and equal. Great, great examples, Pooja. I literally got inspired from all of you today. And just I would like to have few follow-up questions so that our audience, who is women, can take away few more important information if they are looking for a career opportunity. So if all of you one by one can just give one piece of advice to all the young women who have just finished their graduation, be it in any field, and they want to take up profession in professional organization. So if you want to give one piece of advice to them, probably mostly women's.
I would say that never stop learning. That is the key that I have followed. Maybe I mean, when you even asked about the leadership roles also, right? Um, Her answer was similar lines, that put your best foot forward and just keep working at it. Don't expect, for you to become this leader title with the leader title. Do it yourself. Just try to put your best foot forward, and yeah, everything would follow. And yeah, don't just think about. You also mentioned that some women getting stuck in that 9 to 5 work cycle and
Yes.
not being able to move forward. At that time, then you need to, in some way, find the thing that you want to do. If it's in IT, or whether it's even outside of that 9 to 5 job, if you're not, liking it, you're not fit for it, or maybe you don't want to do it, then try to find some other work stream as well. But just try to find a place where you feel comfortable and you don't feel that it's an outside thing that you're doing out of your life. Okay, now I have to go to work. It shouldn't happen like that.
Correct.
It should
Yes.
be it should be like, okay, wake up, you do your daily chores and you work. It should be that way. It's a hard thing to find. I'm not saying that it's an easy thing to achieve, and not everybody is lucky to find that also. But just try to work towards that, and then you would the success and everything would fall.
I think the important here, what you mentioned is if one is feeling content with what they are doing, probably then they are doing the right thing. And if one is feeling frustrated or burdened, then I think they need to look out for the other option with which
Yeah.
they can feel more content or
Yes.
stable.
Yes.
Madhuri or Pooja, you have any points to add?
Sure. I think I'll continue on the similar lines that Shweta said, that whatever you are doing, whichever field you are working in, whatever profession you are doing, or even on your personal front, always try to do the best you can, right? So that there's no regret in terms of maybe that I could have done something better, right? And then once you have done that, then try to do one step more, right? And keep yourself motivated. Yeah, don't compete or compare with anybody. right? You should be your own competition. It is that you are happy with what you are doing and you are growing in your way, in your path.
Correct.
Right? Everyone has a different journey. They are coming from different backgrounds. They might have their own struggles. Get inspired, get motivated, but don't compete or compare, right? And if you are doing the right thing, then just do the best. And I give this example to a lot of people, and especially young people, when they join even Rapid Circle. It could be as simple as you are drafting a Word document. It should be the best possible Word document you have ever written. It should have the right fonts. It should use all the good features that Word has to provide. And I take that extra mile where if I have to print this, I'll go and check if I have to print this as PDF, how it will look, right? Uh, no one is going to print that document, but I take that care that if I am working on something, then it is the best thing that I can deliver, right? And don't restrict yourself that this is my job or this is my role, this is what I am going to do. Then that means that you are stopping your own growth, right? Just stay open to anything and everything. Keep learning, and you'll keep growing. I think that's what I like to say.
Yeah, exactly. I also feel the same thing that we need to continuously keep on learning something new. But one important point I want to raise over here is when you're getting frustrated or if you're feeling depressed, make sure that you take a break, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very important that you take a pause and don't get overburdened with everything that, oh, I want to accomplish this as well. I want to go to a movie also, but at the same time I want to complete my work. So that is not going to happen, right? So you need to have that draw that line, right? Where until what time you need to work, and after what time you need to relax, you need to take a break, right? So that is also very important. So not only encouraging women to take up challenges or take up risks, but take a chill. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally agree, because at times not just women's but as an employee ourselves, we take so much tasks on our plate that we end up burning out more than ourselves, and that is the reason why after doing that for a long period of time may include or may just add on to some frustration or kind of depression that right now I'm not able to handle, because you might encounter some new priorities adding on to your life. So I totally agree that taking a break and out of your schedule is equally important, so that it refreshes your mindset. Yes, I think there are few more advices which I would ask you to give. So that probably I would take this up to Madhuri, and she has already talked about leadership and how one should keep going, keep learning, and not just wait for the designation. But I have met a couple of generation of people who are just graduated and mainly female, and those people are like they always want to thrive for leadership. Whenever I meet them, they just say I want to be someone who is in the women leader panel in a big organization, because they have their inspirations, their whole idols, role models. So how should they, not think as a perspective of how they're looking at an idol or a role model, but how should they start following those small activities or kind of leadership if they want to go towards?
Yes. So if I have to talk about this, I would say that while you are doing whatever work, whatever role you are doing, it is very important that you build a really good, healthy relationships with all the people that you are working with, irrespective of what role they are playing. Right, a leader is made by the people, and like I said, don't wait for somebody to make you a leader. Be there for people to help them. When you see a problem, you should have that approach that I want to solve this, or I want to make sure that this gets solved in some way or the other, right? When you continuously have that approach, you are going to build that skill in you where you are there at the right place is to help people resolve issues, and then you will evolve into a role where you are leading by example, and you are becoming a leader. And while you are doing all of this, you are being empathetic to everybody, and taking care and taking the team with you. When the time comes, be firm and be fair. Yeah, I think that's what I would like to say.
Yeah, this totally answers the question,
It's
and
just
I think
one thing I want to talk about Madhuri is that when she started off in Rapid Circle, right? Uh, what we saw is she never, as she also mentioned, that she has done everything. So whenever we were talking about that technical project, so she doesn't come from the IT specific background as such, but she has never shown this attitude that okay, I'm going to be I'm an operations manager, I'm a manager, so I don't want to talk about these things. I don't want to understand these things. It's very important to understand the people that you are leading. As she said, you need to be empathetic and understand every level of like well, not only the people you're leading. You need to understand what they work on, what could be their problems that you could solve. And that's what she has done always. She's never thought about like, okay, ye tech and this all coding people, these people talk about tech all the time. I don't want to be part of this. She has always been part of our discussion. She's always tried to understand what problems, the developers face or the testers face. And then you can be their leader because you understand them. So it is very important to you cannot directly become a leader just like that, okay, unless and until like it's handed over to you from probably your family or things like that. But even in that case, you have to do the groundwork. You have to understand the landscape to emerge as a leader out of it. So
yes,
it's
yes,
important.
yes.
And
I
I
am
also
asking this.
think,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead.
yeah, I also think
Completely.
that this comes naturally to Madhuri because I have seen her as a friend as well, right? So she likes to speak with people, right? She likes to get engaged with people, right? So it is natural for her, and I think that is the best part, right? So
Yeah.
whenever you see her in the office, she's talking to everybody, and she goes to each and every table, and she just a hi or hello, right? It is just that simple. But yeah, she puts in that efforts. Yeah.
Yeah. I think taking initiative matters.
Yeah.
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 Yes, completely. Even I have seen Madhuri and even Pooja for this sake, and even Shweta Yadkikar. You all have been taking these small initiatives, which is talking to your colleagues or peers, letting them know, or just transferring that hi, hello, and how their day has been, can lead to a different or can make a difference, because that is not just a hello. Probably if someone is facing or not going through good phase, or if they are working or stuck with some issue, and they just you came up and you said hello, how was your day, that transfer of energy can work like magic. So definitely I totally agree on this point. And even I am asking this because right now there are many young this young generation wants to be an entrepreneur. So every time if you talk about entrepreneurship, they just want to be a leader. They want to be a CEO or CFO or COO, just oh, they want to be a part of it. But yeah, they do not so just like you mentioned, emerging into a leadership is a process, and it is not a
Yeah.
designation. I could say that.
Yes.
Definitely. So to end up this whole discussion, there is just a final, because we are working at Rapid Circle, and probably as you all are also part of this organization. So are there any strategies involved, or are we promoting inclusion in our workplace so that we stop gender bias at the root level? I would like to know from each of you.
I think I would say the same thing that I said a while ago, that we should just stop talking about the bias, right? Because there's nothing like that, right? If we believe there's something, then there will be something, right? If we just focus on what work we are doing and keep empowering each other, irrespective of the gender or the role, then we will all be succeeding together. And I have seen that happening a lot here, right? Where we empower each other, right? And when we see someone is struggling with something, you will have 10 people come there and help them. And eight of them don't know how to solve that problem, but they will be there. Right, I am here for you. We have had so many, and of course, things have changed a bit with remote working. But I remember so many times that there was one team that is doing a deployment, and then something has gone wrong, and they are working late night in the office, and there will be five people sitting outside who have nothing to do with that project, but they will be there. They will order food for them. They'll make sure, and they'll empower each other.
Yeah, that happened to me personally. I was doing one deployment at night, and I had 10 people with me all night eating my food. But yeah, that helps you, to strive through difficult issues. So exactly. So nobody thought like, okay, she is the one doing the deployment at night. Is that a problem? But because this conversation also didn't happen. So it's exactly that. Just don't talk about it.
Yeah. So there's no strategy as such. We just need to be there for each other, help each other grow, and you will grow along with the team.
We do have formal forums of POSH and all of that to help in any case, because we cannot control everybody's behavior or things like that. So you need to have formal processes, which we do have. We have the sexual awareness, harassment awareness campaigns and all of that happening as well, which are important part of the working together as such. So those things are important to happen, because not everybody is aware by nature. But as your lunch table conversations and all of that should also not revolve around these things. They should also revolve around as you would talk to any colleague or any peer, and not crack typical jokes about women on lunch tables and all of that. If you just follow these basic things, then I think that bias sort of starts evading a little.
Also, I think it should not be based on the gender, right? It should be based on the merit. So if there are two candidates, one is a man and other is a woman, and if the woman is doing better than that man, then give the role to her. But also, if the man is doing great than her, then give it to him, right? So it should be based on the merit and not just based on the, just because he's a man or she's a lady. It should not happen.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, there are KPIs to have X number of women in the company, so that it looks good on both. So even that situation shouldn't happen, that you're just hiring women for the sake of it. So and that that would
I think this
inculcate
strategy
some
which you mentioned
problem.
has been like, there are a few organizations who just hires women because they need to hire women, and not because women are performing good or they were good candidates for that role, but because so and so number has to be achieved, they wanted to hire women. That should not be the ideal case. Just like you mentioned, that any normal conversation can make someone feel uncomfortable, but that root level comes from an individual to individual, and we can't inculcate or implement that towards a group of people. That should happen from an individual, rather than first from an individual and then from a group of people. And yes, rapid circle do have that awareness sessions. So definitely this answer sums up everything. Any key takeaways or anything you would like to add on for the final discussion to wrap it up? Or before we take any questions, if there are any from the chat.
It's just what Pooja had mentioned in the beginning, that women should support each other.
Yes. Yeah, I was.
Don't judge each other. Don't judge each other's choices, and just respect.
Yes, very important. Respect each other.
Stand for each other, respect, and yes. And I had a great conversation today, from leadership, talking about leadership, emerging leader, and how to balance our day-to-day life with work and with kids, or with our family. Not just kids, definitely someone who is not married, then they might they might feel obliged, but yeah, definitely. And even with Pooja, I heard great examples of discrimination and stories sharing. So definitely this RC Talks for Women in Tech was a very fruitful one, not just for me, even for the whole audience who would listen to it, and they would want to come back to you probably. They might individually want to interact with Madhuri or Shweta if they have any questions. But I don't
Sure.
see right now any questions in the chat window. So I think we are good, but if we can just give 1 minute if someone has any questions to take up. Thank you so much for taking out your time of 1 hour, which I know is very difficult because you all are working very hard, and I appreciate you taking that time out.
Problem, Shrishti, because it is also about making time for each other. Okay, so I'd like to thank Shrishti for hosting us
Yes.
and having this session and giving us this platform to talk about our journeys and share. And I hope we have more such discussions where we continue to inspire each other.
Yes. And thanks Aishwarya also
Yes.
for flying flyers and all of the online stuff that you did.
Yeah, thanks for giving us your time, and especially on a working day. This is the first time
Yes.
we have done an RC Talks on a working day.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, and I think we
I
can
hope
wrap
I
this
did
up.
not make any of you uncomfortable with any of my questions.
No,
So,
not yet.
Not
yes, I'm happy to answer anything for any. I don't see any chat right now, but if someone has, then they can reach out to you individually, or else we can take that up probably sometime soon.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day and a good weekend following weekend. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
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 Mm.